we go. Okay. Hello, America. What's up, everybody?
We're doing stuff.
We're doing stuff.
We're here. Get used to it.
Yeah, we're back.
Okay, so
Devil's Backbone.
yeah, I got the old chubs.
On the menu.
Old chubs, not the new chubs. It's not virile. It's not strong, but you know,
Strong enough.
yeah. Cheers.
It'll do for fun in a pair of PJs.
No, y'all fit old chubs.
Well, it's got plaid on it. Made me think of Christmas PJs.
It's the best one ever. This is the best chub will ever look.
So, once again, we're on video.
Victory
still.
Sunday. Cowboys win again.
Yeah.
Woo! Happy Thanksgiving from before, but it's past. So bye.
Yeah, they did a good job on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, they won.
They won.
You remember the score?
No.
So you have no idea. How
I
they
was
did.
editing our podcast.
Oh, okay.
Trying to catch up.
Fair enough. They won
Good,
by
great.
8 points.
Cool.
It should have been 2 touchdowns, but the last little bit of it is just kind of like whatever. We already won. If you want to go ahead and score, that's fine too. We don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been weird. Fantasy football has got me down.
Because you're losing.
I made all the wrong choices. No, because my team is a monster, but I just chose all wrong, and I sat the wrong people down, and now I'm getting my ass kicked by somebody who sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, his team is terrible. He scores the least amount of points.
Say it to the camera.
Least amount of points in the whole fucking league, and I'm going to lose to this piece of shit. Oh, I'm furious. So mad. I know it's make-believe, but it's like, I'm better than you. I pick better than you. What the fuck, man?
But I'm a winner.
Yeah. Whoa, that was weird.
That's just me adjusting my stand here.
Vroom. Vroom. Yeah, so it's been interesting. Hey, can I ask you a question since you're someone who knows stuff about ladies?
I mean, sure.
No, I have a question.
It's just dating advice with Porter.
Yeah, no, this is going to be good. It's like, all right, you want to know all the wrong information? Sweet.
Apparently, I'm the go-to authority on modern dating.
No, I'm just curious. Have you ever noticed when people make people get in a relationship and then they make that person their whole identity?
Yeah, I mean, that's a habitual thing for a lot of people that end up being serial monogamous.
Why do they do that?
Well,
No, forget being a serial monogamist. Like, you can be a serial monogamist and not be a chameleon.
Mm-hmm.
And turn right into that person, or your living and dying breath is that person. It's so weird because I noticed it from somebody that I'm very intimately related to.
That's one way to say it.
No, I mean, like, I'm related to this person and I see it and I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
I mean, it's very common, dude.
It's like
everybody's.
I remember, like, your relationship before it was perfectly fine, and then it just kind of got weird, and it seemed like everything was about that person for years and years and years. Which is like, all right, you're a young kid, that's fine. We've all done stupid shit like that. I did it for like a week once. I didn't do it for years, but I mean, I've seen that, and then you see where this goes on, and it's like, what happens when y'all break up? Like, what does your life turn into?
Well, it also has a lot to do with something I read about a long time ago. It's just kind of in the modern psychology. I am doing it right now. I want to cue it up first.
The different types of attachment styles.
Yes.
Okay.
There's different. It's basically everybody forms their what?
They can see it now?
Yes, they can see it. Everybody forms
secure attachment. Great.
In early childhood development and other like relational development and stuff. You form these types of attachment styles early on based on, how you're raised, what kind of relationship you have with your parents and other people as you're kind of developing. And there's different types of styles. There's There's secure attachment, ambivalent.
Okay, but this has to do with, I was talking about two people dating. This has to do with parenting.
Well, there's disordered attachment.
But this is interesting. Okay, secure attachment, great parents with positive emotions. Wait, so hold on. If you have a couple of negative emotions, you're a shit parent?
No, that's not what this indicates. It's just like you can have a hybrid of these different attachment styles. I don't know. This is a modern thing that's come out.
No. But let's go through this because I'm curious. This
Sure.
is interesting. For maybe a prospective parent one day,
Yeah.
and someone who's parents. So all right, go back up. Let's see the graph.
The graph.
So
There's no graph.
that like the what do you call collage or whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah.
So secure attachment, ambivalent attachment, which is wary of strangers. Which I mean, shouldn't you be wary of strangers? I mean,
Yes, but as an adult, though.
okay. I mean, yeah, but look, he's just like, who the fuck are you? Okay, avoidant attachment. That's a different word. Avoidant. Is that a real word?
That's avoidant attachment. It's one of the types of attachments.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting how you say that.
There's people. I'm trying to walk and chew gum. I can't
Okay, well, if I can spit that shit out.
for film. Blah, blah. Well,
Okay.
there's no getting
May
around
avoid
this
parents.
gum and not walking because I have to do this to make show
hold
happen.
on. So may avoid parents. Okay. So that's weird. So hold on. Wait. In this scenario, it's wary of strangers. Oh, okay. They don't want to go into school. I get that. All right.
Yeah.
What does that say? What's the little kid screaming on the top right? Here, hey, enhance.
I can't see it.
I
can't. Let's see.
I don't know.
Ah.
Okay, so I guess he just doesn't want to go into school. Okay.
Nope.
Oh, he's whining because that's supposedly the teacher, and the parents are walking off like, I'm going to get a drink. This is bullshit. And he's freaking out.
Yeah, they're the parents.
Yeah. Okay, disordered attachment. Okay, what does that mean? All right, disenhance. Here, hit the X on the top right.
We'll have to.
Okay, confusion of what?
There. Let's see.
What is
I
it?
believe there are 4 distinguishing characteristics of attachment: proximity, maintenance, desire to be near the people we are attached to, safe haven, returning to the attachment figure for comfort. That be the parent early, for comfort and safety in the face of a fear or threat. Secure base, the attachment figure acts as a base of security from which the child can explore surrounding environment. Separation distress, anxiety that occurs in the absence of the attachment figure.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, I get it. Ainsworth, strange situation assessment. Parent and child. Wait, hold on. How is that a strange situation? Parent and child are alone in a room.
It's involved observing children. I don't know, man. Let's just pull up the site. Study involved observing children between the ages of 12 to 18 months responding to a situation in which they were briefly left alone and then reunited with their mother. Ainsworth's strange situation assessment followed this basic sequence. Parent and child are alone in a room. Child explores the room with parental supervision. Stranger enters the room, talks to the parent, approaches the child. The parent quietly leaves the room, and then the parent returns and comforts the child. And then they probably observed
So they're leaving
the behavior.
They're leaving their kid alone in their room with a stranger?
No.
That's what the last one's like.
No.
That's what it
well-
quietly leaves a room, the parent returns and stranger enters the room, talks to the parent and approaches the child. Then the parent leaves. So the stranger and the child
Well,
are
you could probably see it through the glass, man. I mean, it's not it was probably a clinical. I would hope it's a clinical environment. I don't know.
it's like, hey, here's this guy I just found. Later. That's what
Attachment through life. Let's see here.
secure. Okay, here we go. Secure attachment characteristics. All right. Less aggressive, more mature than children. I don't know. What do you think these days? Like, do you think kids are more?
Depends on what kind of relationship they have with their parents.
No, if you had to guess, right? No, just like kids in general these days. Do you think that there are more clingy kids? Are they more detached?
I would say they're probably more detached. I don't know. I haven't been able to observe a lot of kids in a while. No, I I was in the in the school
Does
system.
that make you sad? You're not you don't get to stare at kids for a
No,
while?
no,
Okay.
no, not a bit. Don't care. Because they were bad kids, man. But no, I did find that a lot of these parents gave these kids iPads, and they all had smartphones, and these were kids.
What do you think that's going to do to these
Going
kids?
to turn them into a bunch of sociopaths.
How so?
Well,
No, I'm not disagreeing. I just like in what.
well, they get stronger connections through the digital platforms. Like their community or their network. Unless it's rare for kids. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out of my ass, but I would imagine it's more rare for kids to hang out with their neighbors. As in the neighbor kids and shit. You don't have that anymore. I mean, well, I imagine there's a decline, and there has been. That's not a blanket thing, but
Well, I mean, I wonder like what that's going to do to the kids are they going to be able to
have
function
no.
like without their parents?
Yeah, well, I mean, look at Gen Z. There's a great deal of them still live with parents. There's also a lot of people in our demographic that are still living with parents because part of it is they can't afford to move out because cost of renting and living's gone up.
That's true.
And general economic factors, and probably it's going to exacerbate as time goes on, to be real.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious, like, what our kids are going to turn out to be because if
based on how you raise them,
well,
that's
yeah,
different.
I mean,
you
my
can
parenting is different
you
than-
have an influence on your children.
Yeah, no, but I'm not talking about my kids. But at the same time, my kid is going to be running into other kids, so they have to interact with these other ones, and how the other ones function determines the interaction with them.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, it's not like it's like a relationship. It's not just a one-way street.
yeah,
You're not just worrying about their baggage. You got your own shit too.
yeah.
So I mean, you can't just worry. It's like, oh well, hey, I just have this problem, and everything they have, they don't have anything, so it's going to be fine. It's not how it works. You have your crap, they have their crap, and can y'all deal with each other's crap?
Yeah.
Together without trying to kill each other. So I mean, it's a hard thing because relationships are hard anyway.
Yeah.
I
They're
mean,
difficult enough, but what if you can never initiate any kind of connection? That's
and not only that, like what do they constitute as healthy connection? Like who determines that now?
I mean, it's subjective. It's subjective based on how many healthy relationships the person has throughout their lifetime, or how many unhealthy relationships they end up in.
Because I would assume
Because
that, people
they-
who have had unhealthy relationships their whole life have a hard time.
Absolutely.
I mean, it just seems reasonable.
That's fair. It's,
But at the
people
same
develop antisocialities,
Socialities?
antisocial personality traits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, see,
I've been driving on the road for fucking 2 days.
Well, it's kind of hard to like really determine that because you have somebody who could be completely social and you have one bad incident. Like, let's say somebody just gets the crap beat out of them, right?
Yeah.
Like they were perfectly happy, and then it just switches the flips the switch. Ooh, I'm turning into you right now. And no, it flips the switch, and like they've had a complete great relationship. Now I understand that's an outlying circumstance, but
I mean, it'll shape.
yeah, I mean,
It'll shape things going forward.
but
If it becomes,
I
a
honestly
constant,
think that the recovery for that person would
Yeah.
be a lot more likely to bounce back than the other way. If they've only had healthy relationships and healthy encounters with
Right.
people, and they have something really traumatic happen to them, they have a better chance of bouncing back. Whether they do or not, it's a whole different thing.
For
But
sure.
the chances of them becoming at least close to who they used to be, I think those chances go up with the number of healthy relationships in your life.
yeah.
That's what I think.
I mean, there's no perfect.
I know it's nothing fucking groundbreaking.
There's no
but-
perfect trajectory, because there's so many variables and confluence of factors and social settings and socioeconomic factors, et cetera, et cetera.
You think socioeconomic status has something to do with it?
It can too. I mean, it's one of the influential parameters It's
I
like,
was like, you could be broke your whole life, but if you've dealt with good people, you're just all poor. I think
right, and if you develop integrity, you also might be more. You'll be more of a penny pincher, and you'll be like more tight with money. But you probably make
you'd make better financial decisions. I think
you'll make more conservative financial decisions.
Oh, because those
see,
are the right
better
ones.
is conservative doesn't always mean better.
No, I agree.
Because you have to take some risk for some amount of success. I mean,
Those who risk win.
you say that, but you're also a tight ass with your money.
Oh, I'm fucking tired.
So
Yeah, but
it's
I grew up poor, so
yeah, well, there you go. It's like that forms your behavior into the future.
and not only that, I'm bad with money. No, I mean I'm bad with money, like keeping up with it, like keeping track financially, like where everything goes.
Well, they got
So
apps
I just
for that
I just
now.
figured, hey, the best way to do it is just not to spend a shit ton of money, so I don't have to worry about it.
Well, they got apps for that shit now.
That's why I don't trust apps.
okay.
I don't like the people that are like grabbing their phones and they're taking pictures of their checks or whatever. Not me.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, but you can.
No, I'm talking about
You
as
could
part
do
of
a
those apps.
you could do a rough like they have budget apps and shit. You don't have to link it to anything. You could just use it as a tool.
No, I mean I agree. I'm just saying like I just as a part of those apps, I don't trust that. So like whenever or like sending people money over the internet, I don't know. I just like I'd rather just give it to you in person.
That's true, but you better get used to it, man. Oh yeah, that has now sparked my brain on what I wanted to talk about.
What, Trump for president?
No.
Oh.
The inevitable future.
Oh, did you hear that? Like
That's where headed. That
like
we're headed
Bitcoin,
for.
like not Bitcoin, but a lot of those Coinbase and what's that market? The cryptocurrency is
Crypto market.
is going to shit.
Well, yeah, that FTX stuff was attached to a lot of stuff, and there were a lot of exchanges.
And it, like FTX kind of failed fucking miserably.
It didn't just fail miserably. It was it was a faulty exchange.
It was a
built-
scam too, wasn't it?
Well,
was
it gets even deeper.
Weren't
'cause
they even talking about FTX
they were-
being part of like the Democratic?
They were
shit?
laundering. They were laundering. Okay, so taxpayer dollars were being laundered through Ukraine effectively. Taxpayer dollars would be given to Ukraine in war packages or whatever,
Mhm.
and some of that money was actually getting filtered back through FTX into the pocket of the DNC coffers.
Yeah, because that's what they were talking about.
They were the biggest donor to the Democratic
but
National Convention.
that went on for a while, didn't it?
That's been going on for about since the inception of FTX. Because
how long's FTX been a part of a thing?
let's find out.
Yeah, because I heard it was like even like 2016.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's true, but that's what I heard. I hear lots of things.
Mm-hmm. I can edit all this stuff out if we have.
No, it's
That's-
fine because
I preferred not.
no,
to be
because I
loud
was
because
listening
of
to
the shit.
something, which is so weird. It's like a weird time loop that we're in.
Yeah.
I stopped listening to music as much as I used to. Now I listen to a lot of podcasts while we do a podcast, talking about other podcasts that we listen to. It's such a weird spiral.
Well, that's what we're all doing. It's that joke from the Babylon Bee.
Yeah.
Okay, so according to this case background, November 11th, 2022, November 14th, FTX Trading Limited and 101 affiliated debtors, collectively the debtors each filed a voluntary petition for relief under Chapter 11. They all filed bankruptcy. Yeah. He lost $36 billion overnight.
Yeah, and it was a kid, wasn't it? It was like
Sam Bankman-Fried was his name.
yeah, no. From what I heard is that this dude was part of like not a sex cult, but he was part of like a.
It was like a think tank.
He had like 9 like girlfriends that he was.
Yeah, they
hooking
were
up
all like everybody in his clique or whatever. That he hired his friends.
with. It's like a crypto.
He
cult.
worked for a trading firm,
Mm-hmm.
and then when he went off to form FTX, he took his buddies from that trading firm and they formed the crypto exchange from FTX.
Yeah, because from what I hear, this dude was like, making crap tons of money. How he became a billionaire so early? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
So FTX was.
Well, he had a lot of capital.
So when did it start? FTX started 5 days ago. I'm
No.
wrong. Okay.
No, it was let's see.
You don't get to. Why do they get to file bankruptcy? Why can't you just like
Because they're a business.
you just lose everything?
Well, anybody can file bankruptcy. You can file Chapter 11
What
or
was that,
13. But the only thing you can't bankrupt away is student debt and or something else.
Mortgages?
No, you can.
I know student debt's one of them, which is wild to me.
Yeah, they did it on purpose.
Okay, so let's see. No, it just reminds me of The Office. I declare bankruptcy. Like that's not how that works.
Let's see. Ooh, fun fact.
Okay, here we go. Fun. Ooh, not only is it fun, it's a fast fact. Fast fact.
FTX U.S. customers required to verify their names qualify for full access under Know Your Customer rules. Yeah, they faced all the scrutiny in the world, apparently. Basically, what happened, though, is once the hard truth came out that the majority of their assets were literally held in their own token.
They were telling lies?
Well, it wasn't. They didn't have anything backing up their assets, man.
Okay, so
and they were literally just
go to FTX frequently asked questions. Maybe that'll.
Where's that? FTX FAQs. Here we go.
No. I just figured that when was the inception of it would be one.
And they were in Bahamas. They were in the Bahamas.
Well, of course they were. How do you think you get to hide all your money? Exchange as a Ponzi scheme. Look at that.
I mean, that's what it ended up being.
You know, another thing that I heard them talk about is like, who was the guy that was
Madoff.
Bernie Madoff.
Madoff.
Yeah. Okay, you heard the same thing I did.
A Madoff with a whole bunch of money.
No, I'm just saying, like, if he never would have got caught, I wonder, like, what he'd be doing right now.
And this kid's name is Sam Bankman-Fried.
I mean,
Bankman-Fried.
Bank fraud?
Almost sounds like Bankman-Fried. Fraud.
Bank fraud.
Fake fraud. And Kevin O'Leary got involved, too.
Let's see. As part of their marketing, the parent company is signed Golden State Warriors Steph Curry a long-term promotional partnership.
I mean, they were sponsoring like F1. They were sponsoring F1.
I'm just gonna try to find it. Let's see. FTX Inception. Contraception. FTX founded in 2017.
Yeah. Okay. So
yeah, it was right after the
Trump.
election.
Yeah, it was right after Trump got elected.
I mean, that could be I don't know. I mean,
they were
like 2017, just like 9/11. It's like what?
But what's going to happen now is this is where this is. Sorry. I will edit that out. Pardon my digestive issues. But this is where we're headed because of all this. This is what we're facing right here. This is you know how you don't want to pass money over the internet?
Yeah, that they're going to make us.
One day you won't have a choice.
Until they don't have physical banks.
That's the thing. This is banking without banking.
That's what I'm saying. Until they take that away, then
don't you realize that all the corporate banks are effectively they're already in bed with the Federal Reserve, man.
I better kick them motherfuckers out of bed. Don't you want me?
So basically, what a central bank digital currency is, yes, it's a centralized form of crypto. It's going to be based on the infrastructure that we already have, and every bit of your behavior and purchase transactions will be monitored, tracked, and controlled. Because if you, let's say it'll be attached to your carbon score.
I like how you add one letter and it turns something awesome to something shitty.
On which side of it?
CBDC.
CBDC.
You just add a C on there and it's like, oh, now it sucks.
It's not fun anymore.
No,
yeah.
You took all the fun away.
But this is where we're going.
Thank you. Bank United.
This is where we're going. This is the shit.
I don't want to go there.
Like, I don't know, COVID kind of started the ball rolling, especially with vax passports and the like, because this is their end game, man. They're already fucking talking about climate lockdowns and shit.
I mean, how do you feel about this cryptocurrency thing?
I think Bitcoin, based on first principles, was the first, and based on its own infrastructure, I think it's better. I think it's more sound than our actual currency.
Okay, now how do you think it's going now?
It's going fine. Bitcoin, the infrastructure of Bitcoin was not affected by
No,
this
just the whole
bullshit at
crypto
all.
market in general.
I mean,
Because what do you
Based
like?
on
What do you
what-
like about Bitcoin? Like, what makes it?
well, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, get beers. Okay. Well, Bitcoin, based on first principles, is you can't artificially make more of it because it's all based on around effectively a ledger system based around the blockchain. And basically Bitcoin, there's it breaks down to 20 million subunits called satoshis, and to make effectively a new block of Bitcoin, the whole system, okay, so Bitcoin is built on the infrastructure of a bunch of millions and millions of computers on the same network that all agree.
Okay, tell me what a satoshi is, real quick.
That's the subunit of Bitcoin.
So it's like a
Bitcoin only breaks down to 20 million units.
So like Bitcoin's $1 and satoshi is like a penny.
Satoshi would probably be a bigger fraction than a penny,
So
but
a
yeah,
dime or a quarter.
I don't know. It depends. There's 20
I'm
million.
talking about it fractions down to something like
Right, yeah.
Okay.
That's the base. That's like the base unit of division.
that. Okay.
And you can't make more Bitcoin because you're limited by the law of thermodynamics, because it requires more computing power. As like that string of numbers, that string of encrypted numbers that
Yeah.
represents each wallet or whatever gets longer and longer as you go out, and you run out of processing power. Well, it's not that you run out of processing power. It's just like computing power generates heat.
Yeah.
And so, you run into that friction wall of creating more Bitcoin, which is what miners do. Miners, the simplest way to put it together is
Like teenagers.
no. The simplest way to put it together, or to describe it, is okay. So, what just happened?
You dropped the remote. It's fine.
The simplest way to put it together, and kind of describe it, is you have all these computers on the network, and they all agree. They all share the ledger of this Bitcoin. So if somebody does a transaction with Bitcoin, all the other millions of computers and nodes on the network have to agree, which makes it very hard to hack. I mean, you'd literally have to have a brute force attack of, I don't know, a collective of other, that's a million something odd computers on the network at any given time, and you literally have to hack all of them at the same time.
So it makes it that much harder.
Yeah, because they all have to agree. If a transaction goes down, an exchange of Bitcoin between one wallet and another, every other node on the network has to agree to that transaction.
Okay.
To legitimize
so it just makes it harder for fraud.
Right. It makes it damn near impossible.
I know. I mean,
it's an encrypted system,
it's
and
a good idea.
you cannot make more of it. The way it's mined, let me just break that down for you. The way it's mined, it's effectively whatever. If there's a computer or a miner system on the network that solves a problem, the system rewards it.
Well, then you have to call Vanilla Ice. Apparently,
What?
he'll solve it.
Who? Oh, Vanilla. Oh, yeah. Sure. Christmas ale.
Yep.
But okay. But that, to me, based on those principles, that makes it more secure than our actual currency that we've got in circulation right now, because that's just printed out of thin air. Do you understand that concept?
I do.
Okay.
Which is pretty much our money anyway.
Yeah, it's debt-based, and it's based on nothing. It's like the Federal Reserve prints money, gives it to the Treasury in exchange for Treasury bonds that the Federal Reserve now has on its balance sheet, and then the Treasury just disseminates that currency via the banks into circulation. And that's the way our monetary system works now.
Well, I will say.
I wish I had one of the little inner ear monitors.
Well, here, this is what I have to this is kind of like where I fall on this. You know this conversation that we had, I don't know, a few times over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Is okay. So let's say that we're in a loop,
Like a time loop.
like a time loop. So we've been, for the monetary system as we know it, has
This iteration. This iteration.
Yeah, it's been for what we're dealing with. Besides Bitcoin, I don't know, 100 years.
19. Whenever the Federal Reserve.
It's like 1920s, right?
Yeah, 1917. I think.
Okay, and before that, it was gold and silver for, I don't know, 1,000 years.
Well, we didn't get off the gold standard until 1971. The Federal Reserve.
No. But I'm talking about where we're just relying on gold and silver and stuff like that for like 1,000 years.
Each township, county, or state had its own respective currencies.
Yeah,
at some
but
point.
but for the most part, like they've been running with gold and silver forever.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, mostly.
For not forever.
We had sound money. We had sound money for
for like 2,000 years.
For
like since the Roman days.
No, that's not correct. Because the
that?
Romans started debasing their currency too.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, I'm saying like they had that as part of their monetary system, like gold and silver, and like jewels and shit.
They had units of currency, yes, but they started debasing their currency too prior to their collapse.
Yeah, no, true. I know, which is what's happening.
We're doing the same fucking thing.
Yeah, but the thing, but I'm talking about like,
yeah.
Okay, so before that time period, so we're going to the BCs as we know it, right? No, BCEs, right? So let's say before, because like you got to think of the Roman Empire was before Christ,
but it was also into AD.
No, I know, but I'm talking about where it started, and I'm saying, okay, now before that, right?
Yeah.
As what we call time, because time is relative, right?
Yeah.
Let's say, because I still have this theory as we've done this shit before, like we're in the Matrix,
like a simulation.
Well, no, not a simulation. I mean, meaning like the Earth was here, and then we had a good society that ran for I don't know, maybe a couple thousand years, and then fucking asteroid hits or some bullshit happens.
Have you checking out the Ancient Apocalypse?
No, I haven't. I'm going to.
You should.
I'm going to. But I've been thinking about this for like fucking 10, 15 years. That I think that we keep starting over and we're thinking it's new. So I think that, I don't care if anybody thinks that my theory is right or not, but I think that we had a civilization and it went to as far as it could go. Maybe it made it this far. Maybe it made it 40 years before this, but like to wherever we are technologically wise. And then some event happened. It wiped us all out. We still had some people that kind of whatever, and they just tried to make it. And they just kind of barely pushed it along because we only had a couple of hundred people left instead of the billions we had because it wiped them all out. And then, over time, water erosion, just erosion in general.
Crisis.
Yeah, I mean, it just wipes everything away. Because,
fall of civilization.
How long do you think steel lasts? How long does it take to, disintegrate it, to break it down by water?
Right.
Maybe, 10, 20, 30,000 years? And we go through that, and we're slowly kind of limping it along, and then we start making a little progress. Some people a little smarter. Because, because the burning of Alexandria, that could just be, all you have to do is delete the internet and most of our history is gone.
Yeah.
Because books aren't as prevalent as they used to be. And a lot of things
our records are now effectively kept on servers.
Yeah, and then they get rid of the paperbacks, and then all you got to do is just wipe that system out, and you don't know what anything is.
I was listening to this short series on Spotify.
Well, hold on. Let me just finish this. Let me finish this.
My bad.
So, no, you're fine. But I'm thinking that, we just keep doing the same thing. But here's what I'm wondering about. If my theory is correct, right, or let's just say that it is, right, just for funsies. Let's say that we've done this 20 times over. Our world is 100 million years old. And then every 10 million years, some shit like this happens. It wipes everything out, and it's a reset button. Start over. Try again. Start over. Or maybe, and if you believe in God and all, and a higher power and all that, maybe he just says, you know what, I really don't like the way this is going. Sodom and Gomorrah. You're all done. He's like, all right, let's start over. Let's try it again. I don't like how this one turned out. Reset button. I'm curious because how we call what we call money, what was it back then? Was it the same? Was it gold and silver? Did we just find rocks in the ground and said,
well, you just had trade.
that's money?
I mean,
No, I know, but was it just a true barter system?
Well,
and it kept it that way for the entire time of that iteration?
Every major civilization had some form of money or trade.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. But like, let's say that this happened 10 million years ago, right? And we were right at this point. Do you think the monetary system was the exact same? Do you think we had all the same shit? We
Similar.
had the same technology? I think it might have been something different. I mean, I don't know what it was, but I mean, could you say exactly it was called a dollar? And then even then, what was the language? What was like English is the most spoken language besides maybe what Mandarin and Indian.
It was whatever language of trade was at the time. Like in the ancient, like
so it could have been Portuguese,
like the New Testament. The earliest iterations of the New Testament were written in Greek. Why was it written in Greek? Well, Greek was the language of trade. Everyone spoke Greek.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense because that would be if you're making wheels and deals with everybody around the world.
Everybody's going to speak a collective language. It's like English is currently the language of trade. Yeah. It's why every major country speaks multiple languages, and they all know some. They have a large portion of their people that speak English. At least the first world countries.
Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm curious what it would have been like if my theory is correct 10 million years ago. I mean, what did they call it? Did they call colors the same thing? I mean,
they had different words for it.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'm just curious, like, how close we are to, if this happened, the first time through, the second time through, the third time through. I mean, were there a lot of, did they have lawnmowers? Did they give a shit about that? And not only that, if they did that and they're talking about climate change and they shit, like, let's say we've done this 7 times. Let's say that we've done this 7 times. Yeah. And the 4th time, they were talking about climate change and how they're, or global warming and how we're ruining the planet, and then just slings a rock, boom, start over. How does it start over? How did the minerals get processed? Like, how did it get back? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just the shit that, like, it keeps me up at night sometimes. Just thinking about, like, how many times have we really done this? Because there's no way to really know.
Yeah.
Because, enough time goes by, it wipes everything clean.
Mm-hmm. It makes me think of this. The 4th turning.
Because I know I'm not the only person who's ever thought about this. Mm-hmm. There's no way. Well, but it makes me think, like, how much deeper into a rabbit hole could I really get into thinking about this kind of stuff?
You should start looking into this. The Strauss-Howe generational theory about the 4th turning and whatnot.
What's the 4th turning?
Okay, so each generation, or not necessarily each generation, but it's like time is basically divided up into these cycles. You could almost say like Earth has seasons, not just yearly, but generationally. And we talked about it because we keep repeating the same behavior over and over. It's because we go through the normal cycle of things. Let's see. It's like it started being observed. Whoever started putting these studies together, and kind of just started to look at the patterns throughout generations. It's like every 80 to 100 years we have a rebirth of civilization. It's like cookie.
Mm-hmm. Cookie.
Yeah.
Anyway. Go ahead.
The Arthurian generation, born between 1433 and 1460, is of the hero archetype. Basically, heroes are the ones that foster in the new cycle. Many members of the generation grew up during England's retreat from France. Well, anyway. Members of this generation grew up during England's retreat from France during an era of rising civil unrest. Humanist generation born between 1461 and 1482 and is the artist adaptive archetype. This generation came of age at the height of the Middle Ages. That's prior to the Reformation Renaissance.
Does that say Reformation saculum? Or is it saculum?
Saculum. That's the definition that's probably important.
Okay, what's a saculum?
Basically it's the full cycle. Okay. Each generational persona unleashes a new era called a turning, lasting around 20 to 25 years, in which a new social, political, and economic climate or mood exists. They are part of a large cyclical saculum along human life, which usually spans between 80 and 100 years. Although some...
Wait, hold on. So saculum is a period of time?
Yes. It's from... It was like the ancient Greeks.
I see it. Yeah, I see
ancient
it. A
Greeks
long
were
human life. So a saculum is a long human life, spans between 80 and 100 years. That's a saculum. So it's a unit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The theory states, and it's from the Greeks. The Greeks were starting to write about this stuff. The theory states that a crisis recurs in an American, but in history period, after every saculum, which is followed by a recovery.
Mm-hmm.
During this recovery, institutions and communitarian values are strong, ultimately succeeding generational archetypes attack and weaken institutions in the name of autonomy and individualism, which eventually creates a tumultuous political environment that ripens conditions for another crisis.
Okay, well, let's do this. So, in recent memory that I can think of.
We're in a crisis right now.
Well, hold on. Yeah. So, you had 1929. You had the stock market crash.
Yep.
Sent everybody into the depression. And that was that going on during the Dust Bowl or after the Dust Bowl?
About the same time.
Okay, same time. So, it was just a clusterfuck.
Boom.
In the 20s. The roaring 20s sucked.
Well, the roaring 20s, and then it wasn't.
Okay, so it was like
into the 30s.
The roaring beginning 20s were awesome, and then the last half sucked.
Well, 29 was the first.
Okay, well, here, look this up real quick. Go to another tab. We should just call this tabs. I think that's an actual podcast, honestly. Just go to Dust Bowl.
Dust Bowl.
I'm curious, like, when the start of the Dust Bowl was. 19th. Oh, shit. It was right back to back. So back-to-back FU champs.
Crash, and then... Well, it's just like... Well, that was back when the economy was like... There wasn't a lot of leverage going around. Like, yeah, there was crazes and, like, the tulip craze where people overinflated and inflated the value of tulips, and all of a sudden people were buying enough tulips until somebody realized, hey, these tulips aren't worth shit. And then...
You know that song still creeps me out?
What's...
That Walk Through the Tulips? Tiptoe Through the
Tulips by Tiny Tim. Well, they attached it appropriately to, for its time, a good horror movie. What is with James Wan and naming horror movies single words?
Like what?
Like, well, that was Insidious. And then there was...
that was a good one.
And then most recently there was Malicious.
Oh, yeah. Oh, weird.
And there's some others, but we're on this.
Okay, so 2 back-to-back FU years that sucked all the way up until...
Yeah. And then
hold on.
Great Depression.
Well, yeah, there's that.
That was global.
So from 1929 up until 1945, 46. And then that was the turn. So it was almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So when's the next shift?
We're in it.
No. It didn't just jump the next shift from 1945 to now. No. There's been other shifts.
Okay, check it out. Great.
No, here, I'm trying to play a game with you because I want to try to figure this out.
Well, we had a war, dude. We had a world war.
I know. I don't want to look at this because I want to... Here, because I think that we can figure this out on our own, and I just want to see how close we are to it. Okay, so we had the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl, which is just heavy hitters, and it just wiped a lot of people out. Even before then,
global economic crisis.
1918, the Spanish flu.
Well, not only that, but in the time the time after the Dust Bowl, I mean, that was the Weimar Germany's hyperinflationary environment and economic collapse. Like, people were literally burning money for firewood.
And it worked out because, I mean, what's more valuable, piece of paper?
And then Hitler arose.
That's
Hitler was voted into power.
Okay, but like from that time period, from 1929 to 1945, 46, 45, 46, that was our turn. And then shit kind of turned around.
And then you had
our own little industrial...
You had America's greatest economic expansion.
Yeah, we had our own industrial revolution right then.
Well, the industrial revolution happened like...
No, I know the real one, but I'm talking about...
During that...
Our manufacturing, our fucking...
we were
economy,
booming.
We're going great. And that lasted up until the mid-'60s.
Right, and that's when revolution started.
That's when... the early 60s, because that was a civil rights shit.
Cultural change, cultural revolution. That's what it's called. Cultural.
Yep, and that lasted until probably...
There you go. Yep.
I'm trying to figure this thing out. Okay, well, you know what? You can look at it. I'm not going to look. So it's cheating.
I mean, I've already looked at it. It's already affected my interpretation.
Well, yeah, I know, but it hasn't affected mine yet. So I'm saying, like...
I mean, I've talked about it on forum.
Yeah, but I mean, but this kind of stuff, like trying to guess the shifts, I've never guessed the shifts.
Okay.
So I'm just kind of talking it out.
Yeah.
So you had that, and I think that would probably last from 63 when Kennedy got shot until probably, because after Nixon, because when he got impeached, the world was like the country was still kind of shitty up until probably Reagan, the 80s. So maybe 80, 81, 82.
Close.
And that, that boom, that 80s boom lasted until, then you had the tech boom in the 90s. And then...
You're getting there.
And then 9/11 happened.
Yep.
And then 9/11 changed everything because then you had the military-industrial complex. And it shifted
which was always arguably. I mean, it was always behind the scenes.
Yeah,
since Eisenhower. Eisenhower was warning us about.
No. I know that, but the thing is, there wasn't a blank check like fucking 9/11 blank check.
Right. And the Patriot Act. Took away a lot of our. And we know.
And I just rewatched Vice. Man, it's a good movie.
Yeah,
it's kind of fucked.
Yeah.
I still can't believe he had that guy apologize to him after he shot him in the face. I can't believe that happened.
That's some ruthless ass shit, man.
Huh?
That's some ruthless ass shit right there.
They said politicized. I was like, no, that happened. I remember I was watching how does that happen? Huh? He shot him in the face and he apologized. What kind of bullshit is that?
Right.
And then let's see. And that lasted until I don't know what, smartphones? No, maybe after that. Maybe no. Then the housing crisis in 2008. Then that shut shit down until 2015? 14?
I mean, if we're still feeling its effects. Like everything was kind of bank bailouts.
We started having an economic boom again in 2017.
Well, I mean, it depends. It was like it was a boom for some, but it made things more expensive for others.
True, and then that lasted until the pandemic, and the pandemic changed everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see how close I was.
Yeah, you were pretty close. You were right in the ballpark. You third turning, 1982 to 1961 to 1981. Second turning, awakening.
I got pretty close.
Consciousness revolution, fourth great awakening. 1982, 2004. Millennial generation. That's us.
You said
we're the heroes, apparently. You and we're the heroes.
I like how it said fourth grade awakening. I thought it said fourth grade awakening. I was like, we're in fourth grade.
But we're the heroes, apparently. Our generation.
Hey, for a dumbass, man, I got pretty damn close. Look at me. I didn't pay attention to shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've been alive and awake during the time. So
I got one of those.
Third turning, unraveling, neoliberalism, culture wars.
Hey, that GWOT right there, War on Terror.
Yeah.
I got one of those ribbons.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I got a bunch of them.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, they gave it to you in basic
Yeah, I
thing because I went in 2003. So
They wanted to make you feel special.
well, I mean, I felt special afterwards. That's for damn sure. Anyhow,
Anyways.
so no, I was pretty close. I was pretty close.
Tag bubbles, Timber 11 attacks.
So hey,
World
from like the silent generation on, I got damn close.
uh-huh.
Okay, the lost generation, the nomad. Oh, I bet that was like right after like they pushed the Indians finally pushed them out, and then they were just trying to figure out like who they were, and it was right in between the old West and the new way of
Destiny. Manifest Destiny.
True, but when was it real Manifest Destiny?
It was post Reconstruction.
Because Reconstruction was in that late
Or
mid.
no, that's not true. Sorry,
No, it was before
That's a
that.
bad call. Right.
Because wasn't that part of Magna Carta? No, that was something else. That's the Great Charter. That was in the 1400s. No, hold on. When was that? Manifest Destinies. Was that late 1700s? Early 1800s?
It's apparently on here.
1845.
There you go. Okay. So
yeah, I mean, you were close.
yeah.
Hey, hero. Honda Civics.
Yeah, the progressive generation. That was the fourth turning, like during the Civil War. The Civil War was that turning.
Well, hold on. The Civil War. No, because that's before the Civil War. That the crisis was because
Right, but the Civil War happened during the fourth turning.
Because that happened from what 1860 to 1865, 1861 to 1865. I think it was only 4 years.
Well, after the Civil War, you have the cycle started again.
Well,
Right.
then you had Reconstruction.
It's not precise.
Then you had like
it's just
Jim Crow laws, and like we're still trying to figure out how
first
to like.
turning, high Reconstruction, Gilded Age. Second, Missionary Awakening, Progressive Era. Third turning, unraveling, World War I, Roaring Twenties, Prohibition. Fourth turning, crisis, Great Depression, World War II.
Well, hold on, wait. Let's scroll this back. Okay, the unraveling was World War I. Okay, so that was
starts to come unglued, and then
but then the Roaring Twenties was a good thing.
well, it was a boom, but it was also decadent as shit.
Well, yeah, that's what the 50s were too.
Not necessarily. It wasn't as decadent. It's like we didn't start getting super decadent until the 60s. Remember?
No,
That's when.
I wasn't there.
Well, right. Not that you remember, but what
It's
you
like,
know of history.
Hey, you remember when the 60s were cool?
What you knew of history, though?
No, I know.
Rock and roll, man. I mean, you had Woodstock and shit.
I think 60s and 70s was the best generation for rock and roll that's ever lived.
Well, yes, it was the golden age of rock.
Because don't get me wrong, like
No lie.
Because
you were working within parameters.
The mid-late 80s were great for rock and roll.
But
early 90s,
there were nothing compared to that, like
No.
a few years back.
What do you mean?
I mean, the music that was made during the 70s.
Oh, I think it's a few years back from like right now. I was like,
No, a few years back
dude.
from the
No.
80s.
No, not a
from where
chance.
you were. And here we are. We're in
Okay,
the
so
fourth
like
turning.
the baby boom generation. See, my dad was part of that.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah. Because when was your dad born? How was your dad?
47.
Okay.
He was born in 47.
Holy fuck. So your dad is
He's a
9 years older than mine. So he's in his 70s.
Yeah, he's a boomer for sure.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh shit, he's right. He's at the beginning of the boomer, and mine's at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then we were in the. Oh, so we're fucking millennials.
Yeah, that's right.
God damn it!
We're the heroes, though.
But how are we heroes? I mean,
We're
have
the
you
ones
seen-
that are supposed to birth the next cycle.
Yeah, but look at people
We're
born in
supposed-
2004. Look at these 18-year-olds. I want to bash these kids with a shovel.
82 to 2004.
I mean, can we call like until like 95 and before something else?
Right.
Like, okay, I agree with 82, but like cut off at
Can we just
95
be called,
because
like,
I don't want to be associated with 18-year-olds.
Intermillennials.
Dude, I'm 38. We're 38, and we're gonna identify with 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
We knew the world without the internet.
Yeah,
At least we knew a world without access to
we
it.
knew how to do both.
Yeah.
We knew before. We knew how to combat boredom, and then we knew
got
how to
easier.
and then we got to figure it out while it was happening.
Ah.
We saw the before, during, and after.
We saw the
effects.
before time.
Yeah, we saw the before, we saw the during, like how the inception, and after it was all like a lot of the kinks were worked out of the internet because it was spotty at best. Because I mean, shit, anybody who remembers
56K modems and shit.
Dude, anybody who remembers dial-up internet and that like that shit, that like car alarm shit, yeah. Yeah, that. Like anybody who remembers that knows the struggle. Yeah. Like it wasn't a real struggle because internet was such a saving grace because like think about homework before the internet.
I remember watching a Blade Flash comic when the movie came out.
Yeah, I remember that.
I watched the Flash comic and I was just like, "Oh, this is awesome!" And then you watched it again. It's like a 2-minute 2-minute animated Flash.
I remember having to wait for like
Newgrounds, man.
If you had like shitty internet, like having to
Rotten.com, Newgrounds.
Fuck that, dude. Fuck.
You know, I
remember
waiting to download porn images for an hour, or a day, or two, or a week.
You got like halfway through a nipple in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's like it took you a whole week to download a video.
Like, and then Napster came along.
Yeah,
and then you'd have to
broke the industry.
You'd have to let that shit fucking download for like a day.
Then you had BearShare, LimeWire.
Oh, dude, LimeWire was the shit for a while.
All kinds of file stealing platforms.
Yeah, and then I got on Pirate Bay for a while. Yeah. Then I actually got a notice from the fucking government saying that I'm like taking too much shit. I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna back off for a little bit.
You know, hey, it's growth period.
But that's the thing is that like people that were born in 2004, they can't understand what it was like, so they have no bearing in our context. So like the 61 to 81, no, I'll give them that because it was roughly the same. The only thing that was different is like there wasn't whites only.
Right.
Like some people had to deal with the whites only bathroom shit, and some didn't.
These are the Xers, man. Like the 13th generation. They call it the 13th generation. Why don't they just say Generation Xers? Because they were. They mostly stayed out of politics.
Yeah, these are the Xers. And then, like, so I don't agree with if we're millennials, they need to call like I said, 95 and up to 2004, they need to call them something else.
What about the kids that were born after 9/11?
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I don't even want to.
I mean, that's outside of this. That's literally what.
So hold on. According to this, the prophet is our dads.
Yeah.
Our, I guess, uncles and aunts and shit, or like just a step above us, like our older cousins, they're the fucking wanderers.
Yeah.
We're the heroes.
Yeah.
And then the fucking homelands are the failures. Great.
Yeah. They're the ones that are just kind of...
Oh, no, and my daughter's part of that part. Nope, no, she's awesome.
Well, you know, she might, you know...
No, she's going to be part of
the kids that are just kids right now, maybe they'll have a little wisdom behind us.
See, the only hope we have
behind them,
if they have parents like me, and I'm not saying that I'm doing it all right, but I'm saying that what I try to incorporate is the shit that I went through. Like, without the internet, without having the fucking iPads like this, without doing the 50 million channels, like, you know, playing, figuring out how to do activities that doesn't involve being inside all the time. And if it is, it's like, oh shit, it's raining outside. Let's play a board game. Like, my kid is great at fucking Uno. It's weird. She's 5, and she's just like, skip you, reverse, skip you, boom, and she's out. Like, get the fuck out of here.
She's quick, huh?
Yeah. And I'm not talking about, somebody was helping her. It's just me and her. I'm not helping her. She's sitting across the table, and she's like, ha, draw 4, ha, this one, and just stacking cards on me.
Okay, so looking at these time spans, this was about 24 years here.
Okay,
going back
what's
to...
Arthurian?
Arthurian?
Arthurian.
That was, that was the medieval period. That was...
So is that King Arthur?
Yeah, can be. I mean, yeah.
But okay. Humanist. So the Arthurians are the heroes and the humanists are adaptive artists.
Yeah. There's not a lot of written history, because, you know, Le Morte d'Arthur and other written accounts of stuff, it's like basically kind of restricted to... I mean, it was pre-printing press, so, you know, it's whatever was handwritten and survived the elements effectively.
Okay.
And then, but as you go, when they started to get a clearer picture of history during the Reformation, on from like 1483 on, you'll notice that these periods, like 20 years, 25 years, 27 years, 25 years, and then they start to kind of change a little bit. 27 years, 26, 26, 29. Our revolution, 23, 19, 27, 21. So, and then our previous generation, or the previous one was 21 years, 22 years, 21 years, and then 17 years.
It's wild.
So we're at year 14. So it looks like within the next 6 years, we're going to see some shit. Like, we're in the middle of it. Where
Dude,
we're at now is probably
I don't think I want to see any more shit. I mean, haven't we seen enough?
I don't think we have much of a choice, man.
Think of like, I'm not saying that.
I mean, we got ballpark neighborhood of about 6 years left of this horse shit.
Okay, well let's
maybe less.
I mean, according to
maybe 3 years, and it's all.
Yeah, but that's according to this.
We're all the back end of it. But I mean, you look at history. Check it out, man.
Okay, let's see. Who do you think's had it the worst? Like, okay, no. Let's start from.
I mean, it was pretty hard living during these times. The Civil War, 5 years.
And the thing is,
it's not period of change.
And this isn't like fucking overseas murders. Like, this is just us on us.
And we now have a global war. We have a global world.
Yeah, no, but I'm just talking about like the Civil War. It was just, it's every person that died is Americans.
And like news didn't reach in for a while.
Yeah.
And if it was from overseas, oh shit, you know.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's
okay.
Like they were freeing slaves. They freed the slaves, and then like it was years down the line before the other slaves got the message.
Okay, but see, I'm not going from that point because we all know that one sucked. And not only that, living was hard.
You had communication.
Well, no, I'm talking about just being alive sucked. I mean, even if you watch the
everything
movie
was hard.
A Million Ways to Die.
You could die of like
everything.
Exposure or
have you seen A Million Ways to Die in the West? You've never seen?
No.
Okay. Let's see if we can pull up a trailer because you got to see this because it makes my point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it on YouTube? Yeah.
Yeah, this completely makes my point about how hard it was being in the frontier. Million ways. Sorry. Ways. Juez. There you go. Juez.
There you
go. Okay. Is that a trailer?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. Movie recommendation time.
It's the ice. Why is it so big?
So it doesn't melt. It's actually really interesting how they do it. It's this one company out in Boston that... That went south so fast!
The American West is a terrible place in time. Everything out here that's not you wants to kill you. Angry drunk people, hungry animals, outlaws. The doctor.
I couldn't save her.
She had a splinter, Doc. What the hell were you supposed to do?
I would like to welcome a new member to our community.
Welcome to our awesome town.
What's with this fair?
Every year, people die.
Really?
Everybody hold still.
People die at the fair.
People die at the fair.
Somebody in this town is going to die.
Please don't shoot us on sex night. You beat this guy at a gunfight? You're gonna be a real hero.
He's the most vicious gunfighter in the territory.
I'm gonna teach you how to shoot.
I gotta get a running start.
Dude, you really shouldn't drink and horse. Amen.
Get ready, I'm about to shoot a full load at your can.
Shut up.
Hey! Oh, no, I didn't!
You've never seen one?
Yeah, I feel like I should have a piece of cake or something.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
I know you're here, Stark.
Hatena ashte. Mila kunis, Mila kunis.
Tajos, neglect.
Cha-cha, tanjo.
Ste, tasche, go ute.
You look amazing.
I really love that the most alluring fashion today is to simulate a fat ass.
If I was a black guy, this is the meanest trick you could play on me.
A million ways to die in the West.
Maybe the frontier's not so bad after all.
Hey, it's a sweet young couple. Can I interest you folks in a miracle cure? Holy shit.
I think it was like 2000.
Poor Seth. Well, I mean, good for Seth MacFarlane. He made his career before cancel culture.
Oh yeah, 2014.
Yeah. Like 2 years before this shit started popping off.
Yeah. No, it's such a good movie. I love that shit. It's so funny.
We don't get copyright claim.
How could we? I mean, we're promoting a great movie that happened 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's an old ass movie. You never know. YouTube likes to pick and choose. It's what it's, you know.
Well, I mean, if you want to pick,
It's got arbitrary rules, man. Nobody knows what the fucking rules are.
I mean,
That's why YouTube sucks. That's right, Susan.
but hey, yeah,
I said it.
yeah. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
But we're also on Rumble for that reason. Because fuck Susan.
Well, stop talking. Why are you talking shit about somebody who's trying to help us? She loves us.
She's not trying to help us.
She loves us.
She should.
I love
Are
you.
you kidding? I'm an open Republican on YouTube. YouTube hates me.
I'm just an asshole. So
Yeah, but you know, you can be a lefty asshole and get a million views and not get shadow banned.
well,
No.
okay. You know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make an alternate channel, or just start screaming about the Republicans. They're bullshit. Hey, by the way, who won?
Who won what?
Oh, okay. Here. Anyway, go back to the thing before I lose my point,
Okay.
because I want to see who's had it the worst. So go back to that little timeline.
Oh yes, this thing.
Okay. Obviously, anything before 1945 sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but going from then, so from the boomer generation, do you think it was easier living in the boomer generation or harder? From right now.
From right now,
Mhm.
easier or harder? I don't know. Your money went farther. It's like
That's true, but they also had less shit.
you had less shit, but
Okay.
I mean, my dad did grow up pretty poor, so he has a thing where he like hoards shoes because he
didn't have shoes.
he barely had shoes when he was a kid. So
You had
you
the
know.
walking shoes, the walking talking shoes where like the sole would start flopping on you.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, the 60s, the 80s. Okay, no, if you had to pick out of these generations, which one would you pick to be alive? Like as a kid, as like a 7-year-old. Would you want to be 40s to 60s, 60s to 80s,
No,
80s to 2000s?
70s to 80s, man. Like born in 69, living through the, you know, straight up just living through the 70s and 80s. You're a teenager in the 80s. Are you fucking kidding?
Dude, that'd be badass.
Like you got
Hear
the,
Metallica for the first time.
you
in
get the best of everything.
as like 12.
You get the best of everything, and you get like, you know, 8-bit video games too.
Yeah, and then you get to skip the whole fucking grunge era. Oh, it'd be great. Just like your 20s. Like, nobody cares.
No,
No.
you get to.
No, I'm kidding. The grunge era was actually pretty cool. For
I mean,
a little
that was the, but that just
while. Or
that-
not even that, like the original punk bands, the ones that were real punk bands.
yeah, which
Fuck
70s.
Yeah,
It's like 2 years. It's like 2 years were authentic pump. I mean, the Sex Pistols released one album.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
What about the what was it? Queens? What was it? Not Queensryche.
Was that at the opera?
No, Queens of the Stone Age. No, that's not it. That's definitely not it.
God Save the Queen.
I don't know. They're all English punk bands.
Yeah, and then post punk. Post punk was pretty badass too.
Like what?
The Smiths.
Yeah.
New wave.
What about what would you call The Cure?
Post punk. New wave. The beginning of like goth. They're like right in there that with the Smiths.
What about Danzig?
Danzig is like that's
the Misfits. What would you call
no,
the
that's
Misfits?
New York punk. That's American punk. That's like late 70s. But then he did Danzig.
Yeah.
And the Misfits.
What about Wolfmother?
When were they around? Like I thought they were a 2000s
They
band.
were. I was just fucking with you. Yeah.
They sound 70s,
They
but
do.
they were 2000s.
Okay. What about? Let's see. Fuck. Who did London Calling?
That was the Clash.
The Clash. That was one I was thinking of.
Yeah, they were post-punk as well.
They weren't punk. Oh,
They were punk, but then they were post-punk because they
so they were
continued.
both.
They continued. They continued into they what do you call that? They metamorphosized into post-punk and then new wave.
Okay. So let me see. There's like one more that I'm specifically looking for.
And that was hardcore, man. It's like,
Oh no! Then you had like you had slash and metal. That was in the mid
you mean
late
thrash
80s.
metal?
Yeah, thrash metal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Metallica and all them.
Yeah, but 80s the hair bands were the mainstream at the time.
I didn't like. Honestly, I could have done without.
Molly Crew was badass.
I mean, okay. What about Van Halen?
Van Halen's the ones that were responsible for hair metal, but they were amazing.
Yeah.
I
but
mean,
but no, I'm talking about everything that happened after that. Like
they're responsible for hair
What about-
metal.
okay, what about Scorpion? Quiet Riot.
They're awesome. Like the Scorpions are still releasing records.
What about Judas Priest?
Judas Priest was heavy metal.
Fuck yeah, they're awesome.
I mean, that's heavy metal. Those are all awesome bands.
Queen.
Of course.
What is that?
Rock legends.
But is that heavy metal? I don't call that heavy metal.
No, wouldn't call it heavy metal.
No. I would call that.
It's metal.
I would call that rock. I call it rock.
It's metal-esque.
Weird-
It certainly
weird
has
rock.
metal elements.
It's a weird rock,
but it's
because
heavy
they did
arena
so
rock.
much. They did so much
It's
shit,
heavy arena rock with a lot of theatrical elements.
and it was great. What about the Who?
They're like
That's rock,
they're
It's
also kind of arena rock too.
but they're not metal.
No.
No. What about? Pink Floyd.
Psychedelic rock. Well, I mean, they became much more than that. They ended up doing these big epic narrative, like. But
Who's that guy that still does it?
Roger Waters.
Roger Waters.
But Gilmore, I think Gilmore has ownership of the Pink Floyd name.
And what's the guy that died? The one that went crazy.
Oh, Sid Barrett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said that. I think they said that song was about him.
The whole
Wish You
album,
Were Here?
Wish You Were Here. Well, that whole record
Yeah.
was effectively kind of a tribute to him. But then The Wall was also loosely based around him and Gilmore and Waters' childhoods as well. Like they kind of, I mean, it was a commentary on rock star life as well as like Mad Genius.
Yeah. Okay. So then, let's see.
But I mean, that was the time when they did real animation. So I mean, rotoscoping and drawing on, like Disney style, old school Disney style.
What about Mr. Big? Where'd you put him?
Mr. Big the band?
Yeah.
Hair
I'm
metal.
the one who wants
hair metal.
to be.
I mean,
like, fuck
glam-
off with that song.
Glam metal.
That's glam rock. That's not glam metal. No way.
Well, I mean,
Rock maybe, but I mean, like that song still bothers
power
me.
ballads.
Dude, hey, how does that song not bother you as a man?
It doesn't bother me at all.
It's like, dude, you're waiting in line
I mean,
behind these other dudes just to get to some chick. How sad are you? Aren't you supposed to be like a rock dude?
I mean, dude, chicks melted for that song.
But I mean, or like Extreme.
Extreme fucking rules.
Yeah.
He's one of the most fantastic fucking guitar players that ever lived, man. Like,
I mean, it was
arguably Nuno Betancourt is almost. He's still alive. He's almost a little bit better than Van Halen. I mean, have you ever heard that song "Play with Me"?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's good. No, it's good. I mean, I'm kind of getting fucked on my theories here because you're right. Some of these are really good. I didn't like Quiet Riot though. I really didn't.
I mean, Randy Rhoads played for them.
Whitesnake. Good rock. Not bad.
I mean,
I think it was more commercial rock.
I heard too much of them, but yeah, it's
true.
Referred to as cock rock. I mean, big hair, big guitars, spandex, and power.
I mean,
ballads.
hey, if you're talking about like Walking Alone, that's it, son. That was my anthem. Here I go.
You and every other divorcee.
No, I'm talking about this. No, fuck. I was like that in my fucking teens.
Right. You and every other divorcee in the 80s.
Oh, well, I mean, I wasn't a divorcee. I was just a child of it.
Yeah, I know, but it became the.
And I didn't need nobody.
I'll bet you anything that
that's how it resonated with.
Divorcee.
Okay, what about Journey?
Journey, Arena Rock.
Okay.
I mean, but they were also they hit their peak at the same time that the music industry itself peaked, 1977.
Dude, you want to talk about some bangers? No, I mean, even the 80s, dude. They had some good shit.
I mean,
dude, if I hear Separate Ways, I'll lose my shit. I love that fucking song.
Well, Steve Perry had a great career post
and an amazing voice.
Post Journey, he had a great career.
He had an amazing voice. What's it? Okay, what about Aerosmith?
Aerosmith fit into different genres. Like, they were a badass rock band during the 70s, and then they reinvented themselves
in the 90s.
In the 90s.
Because in the 80s, no, they did not.
They were just, just chilling. And
they just kind of hung out.
Well, like, them, what was it? It was, Run DMC that helped reinvigorate their career. With the first Smash Out.
Did you hear that whoever that podcast was with, the guy that thought it was a good idea, that kind of stuck his neck out for it. The guy that kind of looks homeless, but he did all these great things with all these musicians.
Rick Rubin.
Yeah, that guy
greatest
rules.
producers ever lived.
That guy rules. Just listen to his stories. It's like,
he's the best.
It's like, did that shit really happen? And you believe it.
Yeah, he's the best.
Even if he lied about all of it, you still believe it. Yeah. I know he didn't.
Yeah,
but because it's so fantastic.
You know that band, the Avett Brothers? I played at the bar that one time, and you were like, "Who is this? This sounds awesome." He helped develop them.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Rick Rubin is responsible for so many people: Beastie Boys, Red Hot Chili Peppers. He even did a Slipknot record.
Dude, I used to love the.
He did Volume 3 for Slipknot. That's when I started. That's when I started.
Was that the Vermilion one?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when I started learning who Rick Rubin was.
Dude, talk about so like. We had regular rock. I guess you can call the inception of like Chuck Berry rock.
That's rock and roll.
That's rock and roll. And then you had. So what would you call Jimi Hendrix?
60s psych rock.
Okay.
It's like that was during that revolution, the Cultural Revolution. That's when guitars started getting real distorted. I mean, distortion was considered a bad thing.
And then you had more psychedelic rock. And then you had the Grateful Dead, which we can please throw it in the trash.
And it was the beginning of like... That was the beginning of touring bands that people like literally dedicated their lives to just following.
Like Fish?
Yes.
Ugh.
Like bands like Fish and... Widespread Panic.
What would you call Bruce Springsteen and like what's Billy Joel? What would you call them?
Like singer-songwriter, Americana. I mean, Bruce Springsteen effectively. I mean,
I went through his albums and honestly,
you can start to kind of like
some of it's great and some of it sucks. Like, I mean, I don't really like half of it.
The thing is, these bands became like all these bands. They were their own sound. Like you could try to lump in artists into a genre.
So kind of like
you start to run into issues.
So like Godsmack is like as soon as it came on, you knew exactly what it was.
It's new metal.
No, I'm just talking about like as soon as you turn on Godsmack, like I know this.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd. Like Journey. These were bands that no one else sounded like.
No.
I mean.
Okay, so then you got through the 70s.
The Aerosmith. No one sounds like Aerosmith.
No. But like
every band that you've named. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Nobody sounds like that.
No, but see, the Red Hot Chili Peppers pretty much sounded the same. Like, not the same song, but like
they reinvented themselves.
But as soon as you like listen to it, you're like, oh, that's Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's distinct. But Aerosmith, in the 70s, they were
very much distinct.
And then the 80s, like nobody cared. And then the 90s,
but they were distinct though.
But the 90s, they kind of fell into like what was
kind
of popular.
I can still I know Aerosmith Aerosmith by the '90s sound, though,
Yeah, that's true.
because I was a child when they were on MTV.
I honestly, you know what? If it wasn't for Joe Perry, you wouldn't you wouldn't know him distinctly because I think the guitar makes all the difference.
Right, and the saxophone, and the keys.
Saxophone.
Yeah, there's some.
Talking about the Dave Matthews Band right now.
No, but there's another band that.
Now, what genre is that? Is that like a ska band almost? It's like a hybrid.
No, they're not ska. They're
I know, but it's like a hybrid. It might as well be because it has all the elements of
it's like
ska band.
festival Americana singer songwriter.
So is that like?
But it was all based around what he wrote.
Is that like the fucking Margaritaville guy,
Jimmy
Jimmy Buffett? Because I mean, that's a he's a purely festival guy.
Yeah, but Jimmy Buffett became like a staple for people, the Key West and sailor types, like the boating culture.
So Florida.
Yeah, like all the goobers that my dad hates at the yacht club. They're really all too unhealthily into fucking Jimmy Buffett. And they're fucking
the guy who is super uber rich wearing a fishing shirt and flip flops.
They're not rich. They're fake rich.
Yeah, but okay, that
They're
look,
fake rich
appears to have
losers.
money that has flip flops and a fucking bad tan and a fucking fishing shirt.
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah,
I don't like those guys either.
Yeah, they're fake. They're fake rich. So yeah,
and you could always tell because they got the tan lines with their sunglasses. Like, get the fuck off of the boat, dude. Come on.
Yeah. So yeah.
So, because like I remember when I remember the change, and I remember when this happened, I was like, where do we go from here? So, because then Slipknot came, and then you had that the new metal, and I'm like, okay, how do you amp this up? Because we haven't amped it up since.
Yeah, they tried. You did
because you had the metal shit.
I don't know. Gojira was Meshuggah, and then Gojira, and that was your ceiling. Because amps couldn't you couldn't get any.
There's no 12. There's only 11.
You couldn't get any heavier sounding.
No, because like honestly, in my opinion, because I've never heard of the bands.
And now all the bands kind of sound the same.
But like, no shit. But
all the metal bands,
like as far as you go to heavy metal, once you got to Slipknot, you couldn't ramp it up from there. No, the only thing that they did is rap rock after that, and then it just kind of.
Well, Limp Bizkit came out before. Like, Limp Bizkit and Korn came out before Slipknot came on the scene.
Yeah.
Slipknot didn't just merge, like, those elements, but they merged death metal and extreme metal into that. And they had...
So then where would you put Cannibal Corpse?
Death metal.
Yeah.
Florida, death metal.
Yeah. Okay, what about...
But that stuff never went mainstream.
What about Typo Negative?
Typo Negative was goth metal. I mean, they were, but they had their own distinct sound.
So it's like the Cure
they have their own. They have their own distinct
sound. So it's the Cure with heavy metal guitars.
It's goth stoner doom.
It's like
because
I'm really high right
they
now,
have a lot of Sabbath influence.
Nothing's gonna work out.
They have a lot of Sabbath influence with the sexual innuendos.
Dude, by the way,
and the vampire
how
stuff.
awesome was Black Sabbath? Holy,
I mean,
fuck, dude.
Many people would argue that's that's heavy metal.
I mean, it was.
Yeah.
For like the earliest iterations of it.
And
so then, where would you put Robert Johnson?
Well, in the blues. I mean, it's because of the blues that we have rock and roll.
Well, yeah, of course.
And then...
And gospel. Gospel.
Gospel.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm 2.5 in, so leave me alone. It's been a long weekend.
I'm a backbone and a Christmas alien.
Yeah. I had a Old Chub and a Christmas. So I'm at a... Let's see. I'm at an 8 and a 7.
I'm at an 8 and a
7.
7.
So 8, 7, and a 4.
Yeah. Pass me.
Yep.
I'm about to finish this. So.
Yep. Yes. No, but like Black Sabbath, I mean, every time I hear War Pigs, I'm like, fuck yeah. No, I mean, just saying.
But there's so many other songs.
I know, I understand, but I'm saying like it just reminds me. What about Kiss? Is that glam rock?
Glam rock, yeah. But they were the first ones to like
they had some good
do personas and like
but they had some good hits.
Kiss
like,
did that,
I'm talking about,
and
like,
then the Misfits did their thing, you know.
Yeah, but like
New York Dolls.
Kiss had some like good heavy hits too. They
yeah.
did.
Yeah, thanks to studio stuff.
I mean,
thanks to Studio Techniques.
what do you think their best song is? Like, if you had to, like, hey, you have to listen to this.
Oh,
you have to-
Love Gun's pretty badass.
I was just thinking Love Gun. I was just thinking.
It's got some awesome harmonies in it, man.
that in Detroit
But
Rock
since
City.
since we're on Kiss, though,
pretty
like,
great.
have you ever listened to Thin Lizzy?
Of course I had.
Like,
Talking
no,
about
other stuff,
Jailbreak
other
and,
stuff besides the mainstream hits. Like, they are an awesome band.
They were.
They deserve.
No, like, but don't get me wrong. Jailbreak got me into it.
Jailbreak's kick-ass song.
And the boys are back in town.
Yeah.
They got me into Thin Lizzy, and I'm like, oh, okay, they got some good jams.
But they did like 10 albums They cranked them out.
I knew 2.
because they were Irish. So it's like that they were just amazing. They had amazing front man and amazing guitar players. Like the front man played bass. So
Okay, then what
That
would you
dude was
put like the
badass.
Postal Service?
we'll do it all. Them.
Yeah, and like Mars Volta,
I mean,
because the Postal Service, like the guy from Mars Volta came from the Postal Service.
right. But the guys from At the Drive-In formed the Mars Volta as well.
Yeah,
They're like obscure psyche. They were
they had
experimental.
some psychedelic shit.
They were experimental as shit. They're kind of on the fringe, like where you would put. I wouldn't necessarily put them in the same like
They were like
shelf as like Frank Zappa. But
they were like a good version of like what Kings of Leon tried to do.
they were like progressive at the same time
Because
you
like
know,
all that shit, like Kings of Leon and those
call that-
motherfuckers, they all try to be
just
like.
call that like modern progressive.
But then like, okay, because
say
the
just
Mars
modern-
Volta was
modern
like a
progressive.
heavier psychedelic version of
Yeah.
what they were trying to be, because they just turned out to
but
be.
they had the musicianship
They had it was like
and the
it was an
wacky-
alternative, like it was like alternative for
but
like
fringe
20-year-olds.
but fringe at the same time.
Yeah, but it was like alternative for like 20-year-olds, not for like the 30-somethings. Like, because I remember seeing like, oh, alternative rock. That usually lame shit. Like, that's usually like Dave Matthews Band and shit like that. It's like, all right, I don't like this, but
yeah.
because I mean, Dave Matthews Band was a good band, but I just never. Like, that's not what I want. Like when I want to turn up and I want to get after it, I'm not listening to that shit.
Yeah, me either.
Like, and if I'm driving down the road and I want to listen to music, I'm putting on Stone Temple Pilots. That's
Yeah.
my thing, because like that's just like
Post-grunge.
interstate love song.
That's post grunge.
Like, you want to talk about the perfect like highway driving song? Not only that, I Am the Highway.
The one
fucking,
cover band that you didn't see me in, we
hold
used
on,
to
wait,
we used to cover all
the
that
last
stuff.
one is God damn it, Audio Slave. I Am the Highway. You want to talk about a great fucking like driving song? That's a great one. Anyway, go ahead.
I was in a
Cover
band. I was in a band and we covered all that stuff. The band that you really didn't get to see me in because you were in the whole field
Yeah.
all the time
Which
before we
one?
kind of reconnected. We did Stone Temple Pilots. We did Chevelle. We did all the stuff that you know.
Plush. Oh, that was a good song. I
Yeah.
mean, anything.
We
from-
did Plush and Interstate Love Song.
Those are the best ones.
Yeah.
They really were. Like, I mean, they had a great album. Razorblade Suka. Bush had some great music.
We played that too.
What would you put Bush in? That would be in the same
post
vein.
grunge.
That'd be in the same vein of
Post-grunge.
Stone Temple Pilots.
Like there was some concern when they were producing that first record, Razorblade Suitcase, that they sounded too much like Nirvana.
I could see that. Okay, though, but Pearl Jam was straight up grunge. It was right there. They kind
They
of
came out of the same scene, yes.
because it was them, and then
It's
they
like
just
the
kind of
dudes from Mother Love Bone after Annie Wood died. They like Mother Love Bone split up and they formed Soundgarden. Like members from that band formed Soundgarden.
I was about to say
Pearl
like, 'cause
Jam
and Soundgarden
and
is
maybe Mudhoney and like Mudhoney is one of the lesser known. They effectively like were the first grunge band
like, okay, but yeah, I've heard of that.
because everybody supported them on the in
But
the, in
what
the
is
scene.
it? Like Soundgarden, what do you put them at? Because they're not really grunge.
I mean, they helped define the grunge sound, but they were proggy as shit.
They're awesome.
They were amazing.
I think that's one of the best bands
Another
ever.
band that sounds like no other.
It's probably one of Chris Cornell is probably still for my money
And one
is
of the best drummers to come out of that. He ended up playing drums for Pearl Jam.
Yeah, I mean, but you also Chris Cornell and what's his name? Fucking Eddie Vedder. They were besties.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you got Temple of the Dog.
Yeah, but Soundgarden
hunger
and Pearl
strike.
Jam
I'm
formed
going
out of
hungry.
yeah.
It's like fuck off.
Pearl Jam and Soundgarden formed out of Mother Love Bone, and then they got back together and formed. Well, they formed the Temple. They did the Temple Dog record tribute to Andy Wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a tribute. I just think of Hunger Strike and it makes me laugh. Just them standing in the field. I'm going hungry. It's like, dude, there's fields. There's food.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Just.
And the foreign babies, the slaves are awakened.
Man, I like talking about music sometimes.
It is fun.
But yeah, it's weird to know that like I got to a point where you could see whenever like the 50s and 60s, I was like, man, where are they going to go from here? And then they just kind of just kept amping up. Where are they going to go from here? And then they hit Slipknot. I was like, I don't know where they're going to go from here.
Yeah.
Like I've been listening to music and I've been hitting generations, like 6 different generations of music, like before me. And I was like, I don't see it. And then they had EDM. I was like, that doesn't count.
Yeah,
that doesn't count.
Yeah. Well, things started to deconstruct. That's really what happened. Ugh. After the 90s into the 2000s, the more digified stuff got, the more stuff started to deconstruct and like lose its flavor. You know, and now we have satellite radio and music on demand.
And like how much music do you really listen to now?
I listen to it all the time.
Yeah, I wish I
because I'm still kind of in it, you know.
I wish I listened to it more, but the thing is that I'm reverting back to shit. Like I don't listen to the new shit like at all.
Yeah. Well, what's kind of taking the spotlight?
I was at an
now?
Iron Maiden tribute band. That was pretty awesome.
Nice.
They were fucking rocking their
at the uncle's place?
Yeah, they're rocking their goddamn faces off. Hey, Bonds 007, go check them out.
I'm talking to the mic.
I thought I did. Hey, San Antonio, Bonds 007, best damn rock bar there is in Texas. So, do it.
It is a fun joint.
Be there. Be
awkward
square.
to play on that stage because you have that fucking pillar.
Oh, hey, what they did is they had the upstairs closed because for some reason they're not doing it on Fridays, but they had a tribute band scheduled. Yeah. So they moved the pool tables, like in the like as soon as you come in and you go take a left, like where like the little DJ thing used to be. They just moved the pool tables and they just sat right there, and then they just rocked everybody's faces off.
Nice.
Yeah. Nobody had a face. Like I just grew my face back.
Do they have a website
of the band?
No, the bar.
I don't know. Check it out. Let's try it. I know they're on Facebook.
We'll do a visual. Let's do a visual ad. I was like,
yeah, one Bond. Bonds 007. Put rock bar and just see what it pulls up. That's the one.
It's just on Yelp though. They have a Facebook. Okay. Do 210.
That's right. Fucking 210, son.
There you go.
Dos diez. Hey, you've played on that stage.
Go here for good music.
Yeah, and go.
This is a visual ad.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Hey, fucking shout out, man.
Hey, I got stuff coming up. Check it out.
I've been going there for fucking 20 years. I love that damn place. Fuck, 22 years now.
Holy hell. I love that. Oh, man. This looks like so much fun.
Dude, they have so many fucking good bands.
Iconoclasm, Ulcer Terra.
Do you know that El Nino, like,
El Nino?
Used to fucking hang out at my uncle's bar?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
But
I just learned that.
Like, I mean, it's an awesome place to get started, for sure.
Dude, and it's and not only that, everybody there is welcoming, and if you're a fucking rock band, people are going to be there. If you're good, they will be there and fucking ride your dick forever.
And
I'm not fucking with you. Like, they're the best. Mute Texas, what is that? Here, let's see if they have more pictures of the bar. Let's fucking. Let's promote.
This is due to 10 though.
Okay, here, go back to the Facebook. Maybe they have. Yeah.
Might make me sign in.
If it makes you sign in, then it's not worth it. No. Go to newsfeed.
Nope. Oh, it automatically logged into my page.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's scary.
All right, well, let's just get out of that.
Okay.
Here, just put in. Let's try it one more time. Bonds 007 Rock Bar, and just see if you can click on images. See what that does for us.
Okay.
Okay, images.
There you go.
That's the logo. Yay!
Nice.
Yeah, they got some good bands, and they have like oh man, it's just awesome to be there. Hey, right there, right under your cursor, down to the right. All right, no, left one, that one.
That one.
Mhm.
That's daytime.
Yeah, no, that's daytime. But okay, so let's see if it'll pull up. All right, so right there at the end.
Yeah.
No, right there. So they spread those pool tables out, and then they just rock their asses off right there.
Right
Like
on.
we don't need a big ass stage. We're gonna fuck your whole life up right now.
Yeah, because the door's somewhere here.
No, it's behind.
It's right here.
Yeah, the band door is over there where the Shiner sign is.
Well, I went there after I went down to my buddy's funeral last year.
Yeah,
Because it was walking distance from the hotel.
it's a good place. My uncle owns this place. It's the fucking best. Go ask for Uncle John. He'll fucking hook you up.
Yeah, he gave my band a shot.
Yeah,
It was
no,
nice.
I mean,
We got support that night. It was nice.
dude,
You
hey,
know?
they're good
I mean,
people.
Yeah, the
And I
band
don't-
didn't
oh.
last, but I had a good time.
Hey,
And I
we hung up the
appreciate your
fucking
uncle.
Hey,
I do.
we
I'm
hung
like,
up
"Thank
the
you so
upside
much."
down fucking Christmas tree. It was awesome.
I was just like, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity.
Yeah, no,
Hell of a dude, man.
He's like, if you're there to rock your ass off, he's fucking in.
Yeah.
The guy's a fucking heavy metal rocker through and through, and he'll always will be. And this is the place not only to power drink, because this is a fucking good spot to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody there is friendly as fuck, and it's
Everybody
fucking
gets-
hanging out. Like if you like the biker fucking like borderline dive bar, like this is your fucking
It's right
spot.
in between, and it's comfy.
But like seriously, you go there, you power drink, you go fucking listen to good music, and you just go have the best time. That's the only spot that you're gonna go to.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's fun. So
mean,
hey,
that's pretty
Bonds,
cool. I dig it.
we salute you. Yeah, cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
Fucking love that place.
Yeah.
I was there on fucking Friday, and I
Shout
I wish I was still there
Yeah.
because I've never gone there and just like, oh, this place sucks. I'm like, no, this place rules.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
And not only that,
There's-
like if the owners like don't know you and you're just kind of doing your own thing, they'll come up and fucking start hanging out with you and start introducing you to people, and you're just gonna have the best time.
yeah,
And like I said, and if you like rock music, it's gonna just be better.
it is pretty badass.
Yeah, it's awesome. So it's great times.
Yeah.
Fucking music, it wins.
All day.
Hey.
Yeah.
So I mean, rock and roll will save your life. That's the
Hey, keep
moral
you
of the
alive
story.
at least.
I mean, if anything, it's like, hey, you're going through a bad day. Like, we're just gonna make it fucking awesome.
It'll keep you alive for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're at hour 38.
Yeah.
You want to just kind of
Yeah,
end it
it's-
on a good note?
Yeah, man. I think we're on a good.
Unless you just want to like listen to some shit, but whatever.
I think we're good, man. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in. This is kind of a fuck off episode. We did some random stuff, but I had a good time. I hope y'all did too. Tune in, like us, share us, subscribe, and what is that? Like smack the like, smash the subscribe, and completely molest the share button.
I feel triggered. Stay away
Completely
from me.
molest and abuse the share button, and send us out to all the things if you had any time. Anyways,
All right.
bye.
Bye.
Sweet lads out.